Listen, I want you to picture something that could happen to almost anyone who owns an iPhone. Not a conspiracy, not an internet rumor. A real morning, a real person, a real mistake. Tuesday morning, September 15th, 2026, 7:18 a.m., Scottsdale, Arizona. Michael Carter is 67 years old, a retired Air Force veteran, a grandfather of 4. He's standing in his kitchen, coffee in one hand, his iPhone in the other. Sunlight pours through the window while the local morning news hums quietly in the background. In less than an hour, he's supposed to meet his daughter and grandchildren for breakfast. Before leaving, he notices a notification on his screen. A new iPhone update is available. Michael smiles. He has always believed one simple rule: keep your devices updated, stay protected, stay secure. His late wife used to tell him, technology changes fast. Just keep it updated and you'll be fine. He never forgot those words. Michael did everything right. He used a strong passcode. He enabled Face ID. He turned on two-factor authentication. He never downloaded suspicious apps. He updated every version of iOS the day Apple released it. He considered himself careful, responsible, prepared. So he tapped Install Now. The Apple logo appeared. A progress bar slowly filled the screen. A few minutes later, the phone restarted. Everything looked exactly the same, or so he thought. Over the next several minutes, new prompts appeared. Questions about permissions, privacy features, location access, photos, Bluetooth, local network, one after another. Without thinking, Michael tapped Continue, then Allow, then Next. After all, he was running late. Breakfast wasn't going to wait. 3 weeks later, Michael sat across from an attorney during an unrelated legal consultation. As they talked about protecting family documents and digital accounts, the attorney asked an unexpected question. After your last iPhone update, did you review your privacy settings? Michael looked confused. No, why would I? The attorney leaned back. Because many people assume updates only fix security problems. They never realize some privacy options and permissions deserve another look after major software changes. Michael felt his stomach tighten. Not because someone had secretly broken into his phone, not because Apple had handed his information to the police, but because he suddenly realized something far more ordinary. He had trusted every prompt without understanding what he was agreeing to. And if you've updated your iPhone recently, there's a very good chance you've done exactly the same thing. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. It's about understanding the difference between internet myths and documented privacy features. Today we're exposing what I call the automatic trust trap. The habit of accepting every update without taking 5 minutes to understand what actually changed. Because in 2026, protecting your privacy isn't just about installing updates, it's about knowing what happens after you install them. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to check before and after your next iPhone update. Now, before we go one step further, I need you to do something. If you believe people deserve clear, fact-based explanations instead of scary headlines and social media rumors, hit the like button right now. Videos that explain privacy, technology, and your legal rights often get buried beneath sensational claims that generate clicks, but leave people more confused than informed. Your like tells YouTube that accurate information still matters. So take 1 second, hit like, now subscribe, turn on all notifications. Because every major iPhone update, privacy feature, and digital rights case creates another wave of confusion, and this channel exists to help you separate documented facts from online fiction before those rumors spread even further. And before our legal department starts sending emails, let me be perfectly clear. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not legal advice, and it is not intended to replace advice from a licensed attorney in your state or country. Privacy laws, search warrant procedures, and digital evidence rules can vary depending on where you live and the specific facts of a case. Whenever you have questions about your own legal situation, consult a qualified attorney who practices in this area. With that out of the way, here's what you're going to learn today. First, I'll show you why millions of iPhone users unknowingly skip the most important privacy review after installing a major update. Then we'll separate one of the biggest internet myths from what the law actually says about police access to smartphones, encrypted devices, and cloud data. Finally, I'll walk you through a simple privacy checklist you can complete in just a few minutes, so you'll know exactly which settings deserve your attention after every major iPhone update. Because the biggest threat to your privacy usually isn't the software itself, it's assuming nothing important has changed. So let's open your iPhone, step inside the privacy and security menu, and see what most users never bother to check. Now this is where the internet usually gets everything wrong. One viral post appears. Someone records a 30-second video. Another person shares it without checking the facts. Within hours, millions of people are convinced Apple secretly changed something that lets police unlock every iPhone. That simply isn't how the legal system works, and it isn't how modern iPhone security works either. Let's separate fact from fiction, because understanding the difference matters. Imagine two identical iPhones sitting on the same table. Both belong to different people. Both have the latest iOS update installed. Both are protected by Face ID and a strong passcode. At first glance, they look exactly the same. Legally, however, they can be completely different situations. Three completely different legal outcomes. The first situation involves a phone that remains locked. Modern iPhones are protected by strong encryption. If a device is locked, what investigators may be able to access depends on many factors, including the device, the available evidence, the law, and any lawful court authorization. The second situation involves a phone that is already unlocked. Suppose someone voluntarily unlocks their device to show a photo, answer a message, or demonstrate something during an encounter. The legal questions surrounding what may be viewed or searched can differ depending on the circumstances, applicable law, and the scope of any legal authority. Context matters a great deal. The third situation has nothing to do with the phone itself. It involves cloud storage. Many iPhone owners automatically back up photos, messages, contacts, and files to iCloud. Some information stored in the cloud may be subject to different legal processes than information stored only on the physical device. Again, the rules depend on the specific facts, the applicable law, and the type of data involved. That's why headlines that claim, "Police can now access every iPhone," leave out the most important part of the story. There isn't one rule, there are many. And that's exactly why experienced attorneys spend years studying search and seizure law, digital evidence, and constitutional protections. The law isn't built on social media headlines, it's built on facts, court decisions, statutes, and individual circumstances. This is also why your privacy settings still matter. Not because changing one switch magically blocks every investigation, and not because one update suddenly removes all of your rights. Privacy settings are about giving you more control over what your apps collect, what your device shares, and how your personal information is managed. That's a very different conversation from what law enforcement may or may not lawfully access under specific legal circumstances. If you understand that distinction, you're already ahead of millions of internet users. Tell me something in the comments. When was the last time you actually opened your iPhone's privacy and security settings and reviewed every permission? Type "today" if you've checked recently, or type "never" if you've never reviewed them after an update. I read as many comments as I can because your experiences often highlight the questions other viewers are afraid to ask. And if you know someone who owns an iPhone, and let's be honest, that's probably most of your family, share this video with them. Not tomorrow, today. You're not sharing fear, you're sharing accurate information. Because one 5-minute conversation can prevent years of misunderstanding about how privacy, technology, and the law actually work. Now here's the good news. You don't need to become a cybersecurity expert. You don't need to memorize legal statutes. And you certainly don't need to panic every time Apple releases a software update. In the next section, I'll walk you through a simple privacy checklist that takes just a few minutes to complete, but can help you better understand your own device after every major iPhone update. Those few minutes could become one of the smartest digital habits you ever build. Now let me show you two iPhone users. Same city, same phone, same iOS update, same morning. Two completely different habits. And those habits make all the difference. Meet David. David updates his iPhone the moment Apple releases a new version. He trusts the update completely. He assumes every setting remains exactly the way it was before. Permission requests appear. He taps Allow. Privacy prompts appear. He taps Continue. A new feature asks for access. He doesn't read it. He just wants the update finished. 3 months later, David downloads a new app. He never notices that it already has access to his precise location, photos, microphone, and local network because he never reviews his privacy and security settings. Nothing catastrophic happens, but David also has no idea what information his apps can legitimately access. He's using one of the most advanced smartphones in the world without understanding how it's configured. Now let's look at Sarah. Same phone, same iOS version, same software update, but Sarah has one different habit. Before she starts answering emails or scrolling through social media, she spends 5 minutes reviewing her privacy and security settings. She checks location services. She reviews which apps can access her photos. She verifies microphone permissions. She looks at Bluetooth access. She checks local network permissions. Then she removes access from apps that no longer need it. She also deletes several apps she hasn't used in years. The entire process takes less time than making a cup of coffee. The difference isn't that Sarah has a secret iPhone. The difference isn't that she found a hidden Apple feature. The difference is awareness. David assumes. Sarah verifies. David reacts after hearing internet rumors. Sarah checks the settings herself. David lets headlines shape his understanding. Sarah lets facts shape hers. Same iPhone, same update, different habits, different confidence. That's the entire game. Technology will continue to evolve. Apple will continue releasing new features. Privacy options will continue changing over time. But the people who remain informed won't be the ones who panic every time they read a headline. They'll be the ones who take a few minutes to understand what actually changed. Because privacy isn't built on fear, it's built on informed decisions. And that leads us to the most practical part of this entire video. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a simple checklist you can use after every major iPhone update. No technical background required, no legal degree required. Just a straightforward routine that can help you stay informed and in control of your own device every single time Apple releases a major update. So after everything we've covered, you might be wondering, what should I actually do? The good news is that protecting your privacy doesn't require expensive software. It doesn't require a computer science degree. And it certainly doesn't require believing every scary headline you see online. It starts with a few simple habits. Here is what you are going to do tonight. Not next weekend. Not after the next iPhone update. Tonight. Step 1. Open settings, then tap privacy and security. Don't rush through it. Take a slow look at every category. Location services, contacts, photos, camera, microphone, Bluetooth, local network, health. Each one tells you which apps currently have permission to access that part of your device. You might be surprised by what you find. Step 2. Ask yourself one simple question for every permission. Does this app still need this? If the answer is no, turn the permission off. If you haven't opened an app in months, it probably doesn't need access to your microphone today. If a flashlight app wants your precise location, ask yourself why. The fewer unnecessary permissions you leave enabled, the more control you keep over your own information. Step 3. Open your App Store. Scroll down to recently updated apps. Read the release notes for major updates instead of tapping Update without thinking. Apple and app developers often explain what has changed. Those notes can help you understand whether new features introduce new privacy options or simply fix security issues. Knowledge beats assumptions every single time. Step 4. Create a new habit. Every time Apple releases a major iOS update, spend 5 minutes reviewing your privacy and security settings before moving on with your day. Think of it as changing the batteries in your smoke detector. Most of the time, nothing dramatic has happened, but those few minutes give you confidence that everything is working the way you expect, and confidence is worth far more than panic. If this checklist has been helpful, save this video right now. You'll want to come back to it after your next major iPhone update. Consider it your personal privacy checklist whenever Apple introduces new features. And if you know someone who updates every iPhone the moment Apple releases it without ever checking their settings, pause this video. Send it to them. Not tomorrow, today. You aren't spreading fear. You're helping someone understand their device a little better. Because in today's world, staying informed is one of the simplest ways to protect your digital privacy. Now let's wrap everything up with one final message every iPhone owner should hear before installing their next update. If there's one thing I hope you remember after watching this video, it's this. Your privacy isn't protected by fear, it's protected by understanding. Every year, millions of iPhone owners install the latest software update within hours of its release. Most never stop to ask what actually changed. They assume every setting remains exactly the same. Sometimes it does. Sometimes new privacy features deserve another look. The point isn't to avoid updates. The point is to stay informed. Technology will continue to evolve. Privacy laws will continue to evolve. And misinformation online will continue to spread faster than facts. That's why taking just 5 minutes to review your device after a major update can make a meaningful difference. Not because you expect something bad to happen, but because your personal information deserves your attention. You don't have to become a cybersecurity expert. You don't need to memorize legal terminology. You simply need to build one habit that most people ignore. Review your settings, understand your permissions, know what your device is doing. Because informed users make better decisions than frightened users. If this video helped clear up some of the confusion surrounding Apple's latest iPhone update, I'd really appreciate your support. Hit the like button so more people can find accurate, fact-based information instead of sensational headlines. Subscribe and turn on all notifications because every major iPhone update brings new features, new privacy questions, and new online myths. And on this channel, we'll break them down in plain English so you know what's real and what isn't. And before you go, let me know in the comments, have you ever reviewed your privacy and security settings after an iPhone update? Or is today the first time you've thought about it? I'm genuinely interested to hear your answer. Thanks for spending your time with me today. Stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly, stay in control of your digital privacy. I'll see you in the next video.